Hello everyone, this is Kartik and welcome back to Codelearn. Guys, in the previous video of CSS end-to-end course tutorial, we have just discussed about CSS list, and in this video we are going to discuss about CSS display property. So before getting late, let's get started. And guys, before starting the video, make sure that you have liked this video and don't forget to follow us on Instagram. So anyways, let's start the video. So guys, here you can see the display property in CSS. So guys, basically the display property defines how the components like div, hyperlink, links, etc. will be going to placed on the web page. As the name suggests, this property is used to define display of the different parts of web page. So here you can see like this content is also a display. I just mean a div, and I have add the display property to make this in a grid like this sidebar and this div, and this navbar is also created using display property. And guys, here you can see the syntax. So guys, the syntax for display is very simple. You have to just type display and the value like inline value, block, content, flex, grid. So first of all, let's discuss about inline. So as the name suggests, it align the display, I just mean div or whatever you want to, and element as an inline element. And block, it is used to display an element as a block element. And then content, it is used to disappear the content, I just mean container. And flex, it is used to display an element as a block level flex container. And grid, it is used to display an element as a block level grid container. And there are so many display properties in CSS available, so you can just visit this URL. I will provide this in description and you can read all these. And now let's move on to block. So guys, this property is used as the default property of div. This property places the div one after another vertically. The height and width of the div can be changed using the block property. If the width is not mentioned, here you can see if the width is not mentioned, then the div under block property will take up the width of the container. So to understand this more easily, so let's copy this code and in our VS Code create a file. Let's say display like this, display dot html, and here let's create a boilerplate. Let's generate a boilerplate, and we don't need to, guys, actually we don't need to generate the boilerplate. We can just copy the code and paste it here. So before executing our code, let's discuss about it first of all. So here in the body tag you can see there are three divs. So the first div is the class of first div is Codelearn, and here you can see Codelearn. And the second div has a class of div2, and here you can see display block property. And the third div has the class of main, and inside that div you can see a sub div, with the ID of Codelearn1, and here you can see the div. And let's discuss about the style tag. So here you can see hashtag Codelearn1, which is this sub div, and here you can see dot Codelearn, which is this first div, and dot div2, which is this, and the main, which is this div. So first of all, let's see Codelearn1. So here you can see there is a height and width of 100 and 200 pixels, and background color of aqua, and display block is and the display is block. And dot Codelearn has margin left with 20, font size with 42, and font weight with bold, and color with crimson. You can change it. Let's move on to div2. So here you can see there are two properties. First of all, font size and margin left, and then main, same margin left, I just mean margin 50, and text line center. So now let's save and copy the file path, and in the browser just paste it and run. So here you can see, guys, this is our div, and here you can see with background color of aqua and Codelearn with the color of crimson, and display block property. And guys, now let's move on to inline block and none property. So first of all, let's discuss about inline property. So this property is the default property of anchor tag. It is used to place the div inline, either in a horizontal manner. The inline display property ignores the height and the width set by the user. And now inline block. This feature uses the both property mentioned above block and inline. So this property aligns the div inline, but difference is it can edit height and width of the block. Basically this will align div both in block and inline fashion. And none, so this property hides the div or container which you use this property, and using it on one of the div, it will make working clear. So guys, I hope you understand this display property in CSS. So guys, in the next tutorial we are going to discuss about more about CSS. So for that, bye bye, see you later and take care.